because I can then retain that information and then regurgitate it. You know, when you're talking to somebody about what it is that you're passionate about, you can just talk for hours about what it happens to be, and you're in free flow of the information that's coming out, and ideas start gathering, and before you know it, you've said something really amazing that the other person's impressed with. And I hate to blow my own trumpet, but that's what happened to me last night. And the reason for that is because I was having a debrief with one of the podcasts that I helped to manage and strategize for, and that being Going In Deep. This particular show is all about mindset and exploring different ideas, different learnings and experiences that both Ben and Ollie have had, but as well as the guests that they feature on their show too. And we've had some initial success with the podcast, but we're looking to take that even further. So we picked up on a call and we decided to just explore some different ideas. And something that I thought was really important was the idea of sharing stories, because as a human race, that's what we've known forever, isn't it? You think about how information used to be passed down, it would be through stories and songs and things like that. And for some of the more memorable moments that have happened in the podcast, for me at least, it has been when people have shared a story, because I can then retain that information and then regurgitate it. So, for example, Ben explained how he'd done something wrong, but instead of just saying, and because I did the right thing, I felt really good, he related that back to he'd reversed the car into another car and he'd broke a headlight or something like that, and then he'd left a note on the car. Now, I remember that story in detail, and I also put an emotion and a feeling to that story. And from that, it makes me remember that a bit better. And I can then relay that back to you as the listener of me telling that story. So for me, if you're creating a podcast and you're creating any kind of content really, I would highly recommend you trying to think about how you're telling your story. Now, it doesn't have to be a story where you're sitting by the fire and reading a book to somebody, but just telling a story as you would if you was meeting up with a friend. How would you explain that if you were talking to somebody in that kind of way? So I think that this could work for solo episodes, but also I think it's really, really great if you've got a co-host or somebody else that you're talking to, because you're able to explain those stories and the other person can react live, and you can have that back and forth to really get that message across. Love to hear your ideas on whether you're going to be using stories a little bit more effectively in your content production. And if you're interested in hearing more, then click on one of the videos you see on screen.